Good evening. Ira Epstein with your metal market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening as we're here now on Wednesday, and this is the 25th of June, 2025. And boy, it's about 6:10, but don't you feel like this has just been a wild ride you've been on? From the warfare to the president, today at NATO, people coming around, 5% budget, whether they can afford it or not, appears to what they're going with. Lots going on. We have some news for tomorrow. You're going to get, and by the way, there's a lot of it, as you can see. You get the Chicago Federal Reserve May National Activity Index at 7:30. Then you're going to get the first look at 7:30 of the U.S. first quarter GDP data. Did I say first? It's the final look of the first quarter GDP data. You get U.S. Advanced Durable Goods report at 7:30, and you get jobless claims at 7:30. You're going to get a lot of action. Algorithms will move the market around. Then at 7:45, the Richmond Fed President Barkin is going to speak in New York. I don't know if we'll get any headlines out of that, 1, 2, 3. But at 9, we start again with the headlines from the National Association of Realtors, pending home sales. Then we get to the EIA Natural Gas Storage Report at 9:30. The KC Manufacturing Composite and Business Activity Index will come out at 10. And Micron had big earnings after the market today, for those of you that are looking to see is the AI market still moving, and it most certainly is. So when we take a look at things, the dollar was slightly lower. You're sort of wandering and just drifting in the foreign currency market. It looks to me as though silver is putting in a trade bottom. You know that I'm warning you about copper because I'm seeing the lead contract still getting a sizable premium in London. A lot of talk there could be a squeeze play that develops. You've had a reasonable steadiness coming into the energies. After the huge break this market just had, now it's a question of do they steady and where do they go? And bonds and notes getting a little bit of a bid. In the gold market, so far for the week, we're down 1.22%, down $41 in the market from where we closed on Friday. As you can see, you've come down, and the market's still in that pattern of walking its way to lower prices at this point. You'd have to get back up and over these highs right over here in order to get me convinced that the market's reached something of a trade bottom. I'm not seeing that yet. The market was trying to hold the 18-day average of closes. It gave that up, not today, but yesterday, and couldn't get back to the 18-day average. That's not a sign of weakness or strength. It's just a market that's drifting right now. And I say that because you hit the Bollinger Band back on Monday, actually Bollinger Band on Tuesday, let me get that right. When you look at these, you got to realize we're into a Thursday trade already. So it came down there, and it's giving you that little bit of a bounce. That's the point that I'm trying to make, and you're oversold. What have you really done? You're caught in sideways action. When we look at the gold-silver ratio, it's starting to favor silver again. So I'm getting excited. In fact, I see better setups in silver on the ETF than I'm seeing on the futures right now. But when I look at the market, you can see you need to clear this high. I think that's 36.65 right here. And if you can clear that, you can make an argument that the market has gotten itself to the point where it's out of the downtrend. It has been trying to hold that 18-day average as the copper, as I told you, was going to try an upside for the squeeze reasons we've talked, and so far it's come to light a bit. You got to the upper Bollinger Band, and that's your natural resistance tonight. Markets have a problem at the black dashed lines. Those are Bollinger Bands, and markets trade within them 95% of the time, which is another way of saying they only come out of them 5% of the time. So that's where the natural resistance is. The markets come up here, and any reading over 70 in a slow stochastic, and that's what this bottom graph is, I consider overbought. So you have an overbought market that's lifted itself into the resistance of that number. In the platinum, don't know if we'll hit the Bollinger Band, but I thought we'd make a big run for it, and I've said that ever since Monday, and I feel justified in saying that now that you've gone up and made a new high for the whole move. You still have the embedded reading. I don't see why it can't hit that. I'm not seeing anything to stop the market at this point. And in the dollar, If we start taking out this low here, remember we're already under that one, but if you start taking that out, you start coming down. I am still of the opinion the dollar's in a bearish mode at this point. It would have to probably get back up and over this area here to convince me, rethink that position. Until that occurs, I can see a drop under the 90 level, which means I'm very friendly in a lot of the different markets. When you look at what we do, if you join me first thing in the morning, and I say first thing, I'm recording at 6 in the morning my futures, and I record at 9 o'clock my Spider ETF. I wait for the Spider ETF to do a recording on the videos because I want to get, as you can see, all the data in as much as I can. And since it opens at 8:30 in the morning, Chicago time, that gives the first half hour to absorb out of the market trades. In other words, right now you can trade in a lot of the different markets, but it won't show up on the day's bar chart. It can be outside of it, it can be within it. Depends how the market trades tomorrow. But you get access to my special reports, and I will do one as soon as I'm comfortable of what I want to do. And right now I'm still adjusting, if you will, to all that's going on. The end of the Israel-Iran war, maybe. We haven't seen a breaking of the ceasefire, and I'm hoping neither side will do it. Now the next thing up are the tariffs, the tax bill. This is all very important, and once that's behind you, you got a lot of things that you can start working with in the marketplace. But those are the two big next events. You can get to these different videos by clicking up at the top here, going to iraepstein.com research. I'm Ira. Hope you join us. I'll see you in the morning. Take care.